Hi, friends. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining. This is after a while, a gap that we are meeting. I really appreciate the kind of responses I got, questions I got through Google form that I messaged. It's fantastic. So we have two young women who are here to play as a live orchestra. May I request them? Manaswini and Manvita, my daughters, many of you know. Elder one is in class 11, the younger one is in class 4. So they are here to play a small bit of music to entertain you before we begin. Over to you, girls. Thank you, girls. Thank you so much. So, really appreciate all the good wishes, comments that I got. I'm meeting you after a gap. Those who have joined on LinkedIn, on Facebook, as well as on YouTube, really appreciate your support. I've got a lot of questions. Uh, yeah, Dr. Ajit, we will see the kids in the next few episodes. They have given me permission to host them as orchestra only on a condition that they would not be on the camera. So perhaps I would convince them in the next few sessions and then I'll get them. Thank you. So today we're talking about start where you are. I've got so many questions from our fellow journeymen and women saying that there are three categories of questions and comments I got. One is, hey, I'm doing well. I know world around me is not the same anymore. I don't travel. I'm at home, but still, I want to plan my future. I want to be future fit. This is one set of people. The second set of people are the ones who are saying, I'm a bit confused. I want to know what would be my next step. Am I going in the right direction? I need clarity, and so on. And the third set of people are the ones who are already affected. Either they lost their livelihood or a job, or they lost someone near and dear to them, uh, which has put their priorities different. So these are three kinds of people who have sent questions, and I would invite more questions online. Since we are here together, let's make best use of that. Let me talk about what people are at this moment saying. The ones which are really doing well, and they want to see how they can sustain the momentum and keep going forward and make sure that they are supporting the fellow beings around them, right? So this is something very heartwarming, because you are grateful for this kind of category of leaders who are out there listening to this. I see that you're very grateful to the situation that you are in, and you're also wanting to do something to your fellow beings. So that's a very commendable thing. So what do you do? Start where you are. Now, a couple of things we can talk about. One is, how do we help others in the same journey? So there is one quote which I read in an interview with Miss Leena Nair, who is a head of HR in Unilever. In that quote, she mentions, "We are in the same storm, but not in the same boat." That attracted my attention. If it resonates with you, please comment, and do let me know, how it appears to you. It appealed to me for two reasons. One, there is a recognition and acknowledgement that there is storm around us. Second, each boat can be different, and we all experience the storm in a different manner. So That's how I'm seeing it. So those who are successful in category one, who have experienced bliss, and very grateful and thankful for the situation that they are in, keep working on supporting your fellow beings around you. How do you do that? A, speak motivational messages, share motivational messages. If you are upset or angry, do not write email at that moment, put them in draft, and then check yourself, are you in a better place to write this? Will this email or message evoke positive response from the other person? Would this person be in a situation where they may not be in a position to receive this message as you intend to be? So after considering all this, you may want to make some changes to the draft and then send it. It should give you a productive output. So such leaders are empathetic leaders, compassionate leaders. I have come across many in this pandemic last 18 months or so, and I see the tribe growing. Many of them are showing positive change in this direction. For example, many FMCG companies have asked their feet on street to be home, not to go to the market, which is a very big thing, right? Because as many people are on the street, they are able to sell more, they are able to control the logistics and flow of information from the distributor to the retailer and so on. But when they work from home, the entire style has to change, skill levels have to be upped. So these leaders are compassionate, empathetic leaders who are taking care of their people really well. Some companies, multinationals, I've also come across where they provide 3 day weekend. Instead of the traditional Saturday, Sunday, one more day is off. That means 4 working days in a week instead of a 5 working day, which is again a big move in some companies. Though we are working from home, we are not switching off anytime. So that puts a huge stress on the system, and it could be counterproductive over a period of time. The other set of compassionate leaders in the category one, they are also taking care of their people by giving them COVID absence. If any of their family members are suffering, they are helping them out by taking extra off, which is a paid off. Very difficult to see in these days, but it is happening. Many companies are supporting families of people who did not win the war with COVID by providing salaries till their retirement or the next 5 years and so on. So I was recently chatting with one of my friend who happens to be head of HR of a large consulting firm. I asked him, "Don't you think all companies would be under pressure to show such compassion?" He says, "No, each one is on his own or on her own, because companies are run differently, policies are different, and it has to stem from the compassionate, empathetic leadership which I spoke about." So these are the first category leaders who are steering the ship. They are the captains of the industry. They are taking care of people around them. Now come to the second category of people who have written to me in the last few days. When I put out this notification saying I'm going to talk about start where you are, they are the ones who are a bit confused. The kind of questions they have asked are very typical, I should say, in this kind of crisis. And when I say confusion, what comes to your mind? Is it a either or is it and situation one and two, or is it no clarity on any of these scenarios? What comes to your mind? Please do comment on the section. I'll read out few responses I got on the Google form. One of them says that I'm confused because I see that the current situation is going to be prolonging beyond my comfort. I don't know the end to this, right? Shweta is also agreeing. Too many options. Yes. So there is no end. There seem to be no end to this. And when I switch on the news channel or look at my WhatsApp forwards, it really puts me in a very low motivation, what is that I can hope from the future? So, for all of these leaders who are in the second category, I have three messages from my experience. A, do not think of the last step in the ladder when you're about to step onto the first one. So that's a big learning I got in my career when I was in an IT major company. The owner founder admitted that he cooked books to SEBI. We all went through a very big turmoil, and we didn't know what will be our future. Those 6 months to 8 months seemed to be, for eternity. Media people were hounding on us. We didn't know whether we would get our salaries, and many people were on site. Their credit cards were frozen, and they didn't know where the next meal or milk packet for their kids would come from. So they would call, many of us here in India and say, "Can you help us?" So our hearts would go out to help them, but financially or any other way, we cannot help because we ourselves are in the deep conundrum. So when things are so hazy, when things are seeming very, very difficult, we can't understand where it is going, leading us, when the end will come. The only strategy which really helped me, might help you, is don't think about the last step on the ladder. Let us focus on the first step and make sure we keep that step with a firm footing or grounding. So as we go one step at a time, one day at a time, seem to be the motto for the era that we are in right now. Let us take one day at a time. Let's not get ahead of ourselves or think about 3 months, 1 year, and so on. One day at a time. Make sure we secure our perimeter, people around us are safe, ensure that they are well taken care and provided for, and that's it. So that's one strategy. The second strategy, which really helps for people who are confused with too many options, or people who think that I'm having no options at all, that also can lead to a lot of confusion. Can we start working on what we currently have? So that's why this mantra of start where you are. For example, in India, Maharashtra, nearly 60,000 teachers have lost their job during pandemic, according to Times of India. In Karnataka, it is way above 40,000. And today's paper, if you open Times of India, you would see there is a teacher in Tamil Nadu who have taken to mango plucking as a job, who did not wait for any dole or any kind of support to come from government. He lost his job because he was a maths teacher in one of the schools. The moment he realized, he started working on alternatives. The second example is a teacher in Karnataka. She started rolling BDs. So no job is beneath us. When things are really in a state where we don't see many options around us or no options in front of us, take what comes your way and sustain. And what we do during this pandemic is not going to define us. That's my experience. We know our identity. Long ago, my father retired from his job, and I have seen him kind of worried and looking rudderless for 2 years, because all his while till retirement he had his job as an identity, his company as an identity. So the moment we retire or move out of a particular job or a company, we feel rudderless, we feel we don't have an anchorage, we don't know where we are, and so on. I think we need to reframe that and say, what is my identity, what do I bring to the table, what skills I'm good at, what things I can offer to the market. That's the journey that I think we should move on. So let me pause here and look for more options or comments on the comment section. Meanwhile, yes, let's have the orchestra help us with some jingle. Let me look at the comment section. On LinkedIn, I have so many of you who have said hi. Thank you. Ankit, Silas, Muthu, Dinesh. Hi, Deepak. Hi, Manmohan. Oh, nice. Please share your questions as well. Let's have a discussion here. On YouTube, I have what next? That's what Lala is asking. Okay, so this is a question that is on many people's mind. So if you are in a job and you are doing very well, make sure you don't slack. Make sure you understand what your supervisor needs. Make sure the output is to the expectation of people or stakeholders around you, because what you have is more precious than what you could have. So my invitation to you is stick to doing what you're doing really well, and make sure that your supervisor or the key stakeholders appreciate the output that you're providing. In case you are not getting the vibe, please ask for feedback. There is nothing wrong in asking for feedback, right? So there would be many instances I can quote from my personal experience. I was talking to a colleague, of ex-colleague of mine, who used to we used to work in leadership development. We used to travel to different countries. She and I were in UK for doing some consulting assignments. We got to know each other through professional network, and how to work with each other and so on. Now recently, when I spoke to her, she is a fitness coach. Can you believe? She's doing one-on-one fitness from morning 5:30 to till about 11 in the morning. All the high-profile women leaders are our customers, and she's able to help them with specific feedback on what they need to do to stay fit. So that's something she uncovered during the pandemic, and she's good at it. If you look at her website, you will have many options, and I was really mesmerized the kind of adoption she has taken in this pandemic to make use of her skill sets, and also at the same time be meaningful to people around her. I'm sure many of you have a lot of talent. Make an inventory of that talent. Make sure that you pick one or two and see how it works, and make a offering which the customers would be willing to pay for. So that's one example in terms of pandemic. And also, the bright side of pandemic is we don't have to go for shopping, and my wardrobe has not increased in the last 2 years. It's still the same. And my kids also are okay with wearing what is available, rather than wanting for new dresses these days. Anyways, lockdown is not allowing us to move around. That's a positive side. Our all other expenses have got cut down. If you go out for shopping, there is a travel expense, there is the food expense, and so on. All that is cut down, and we are quite comfortable in the way we are now leading our life. The second very important part is financial planning. So between married couple, the spouse, please discuss and ensure you do plan well. In case something happens, in case of any eventuality, would you have savings for the next 6 to 8 months? So start prioritizing that as a first step. I'm sure that would be very important for us to feel secure right now. And for those, on the third category, where you already have got a stage where you lost your job or livelihood, your business is not doing okay, you had to take a pause because of the restrictions. What is that you could do with your time? It's so important that please take up some assignments, set yourself some deadline, and move faster towards those deadlines that you set for yourself. For example, I'll tell you, in the last 4 days, me and my family, we have been planning on a few things. One of them is to launch a family podcast. Why podcast? Why a family podcast? We did not do much of analysis on whether there's a need out there. Will there people be willing to listen to such a podcast? But what is the trigger point for us is four of us can do something together, and we can have lots of fun when we do that together. So this assignment that we set for ourselves as a family is giving us a direction. So we are maximizing the time that we got. The school time for kids, they are quite eager to complete all those responsibilities and come for the discussion table, because every day evening we sit around, discuss on what should be the episode, what kind of stories we are going to share, what would be inspiring and powerful for people to take back some lessons. So as a family, we got a purpose, we got something to talk about. I'm hoping that we would be able to release one episode a week at least, so that we keep the momentum despite the school or office for my wife and so on, and my assignments in the sideline. We should be able to keep the momentum. So this is something you could do when you are thinking that there is nothing available. Set yourself some target, take a assignment for yourself. You don't have to have any monetary value to that, but keep at it. So what are the positives that could come out of it? We can learn new skills in the process. We can have a wonderful time with family. The stress can be reduced, because staying in unknown ambiguity could lead to a lot of stress. By this taking up these kind of assignments, we could beat the stress. It'll be fun. And also remember, once the pandemic is over, when things are becoming normal, when we get back to the job market, when opportunities are coming in, no one is going to judge you whether you took up a job of a rolling BD or plucking mangoes or doing podcast. No one is going to judge you, because we are all in the same storm in different ships. That's how I'm seeing it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm getting some questions here. Please do share your questions on the text window. Yes, Naga, I'm just displaying his question here. In this pandemic time, I started speaking with elderly people and giving strength to them, that I'm with them. Yes, that's a wonderful thing, Naga, that you are doing. Yeah, it in fact serves two things. Scientifically, neuroscience has proven when we are useful to someone, when we are helping someone, our chemical reactions are happening inside our body, especially dopamine, endorphins. All of these chemicals are at excess, which are called happy hormones. I'm sure that would help us to stay on the positive side while we are all going through this. Dr. Roy is saying plan, plan, and plan is the key to success. Absolutely. Don't let your skills to rust. So find yourself some assignments which are meaningful to you and which are meaningful to people around you. Absolutely. So keep your examples coming. It's so important for us to know that how people are coping. And one other thing you could do is, if the savings allow you, pursue your hobby. Your hobby could be music, your hobby could be painting, your hobby could be playing chess with an unknown opponent across the globe through internet. Any of these, please do pick up a new skill. Sorry. Also, you could start all over again. It's a great opportunity, right? Like a friend whom I mentioned, she was a leadership development consultant, a trainer par excellence. Now she's a fitness coach. So this gave an opportunity for her to completely reimagine her career and make a shift. And if she continues to like it and her clients continues to value her contribution, I'm sure this would be her career from now on. There were many examples of people from hospitality industry in the last year and a half. Many of us know that industry is one industry which is going through huge crisis from top to bottom. Uh, Many of my friends who are in this industry have taken a pay cut. Some of them have got into new avenues, changed jobs, and some of them are hoping to make sure that this is going to end soon and they will get back on track. And few resilient youth whom I know have started their own business. So if I have a very knowledge about a cuisine where I come from, my local area, and I'm a migrant, I'm in this new place. Like me, there are many who would want this kind of food. I can start this business. It's a very lucrative one. And during pandemic, many people do not have the luxury of cooking their own food. Maybe the family members are infected, or they are in quarantine. So such people are looking for your services. So that's how many friends of mine who have taken up such small gigs here and there, either a Zomato delivery person and so on, they are more resilient. They are inviting more experiences in life. You can either take it as compulsion, or you can take it as as opportunity for me to learn something new or pick up a new skill. Yeah, Nupur makes a very good point. Thanks, Nupur. It's a time to balance my wheel of life. Fantastic. So, if you all know what is wheel of life, I would like to spend a few minutes here. It's very simple wheel with spokes. Imagine with 8 spokes. If you don't know what is this tool, it's a very ancient tool. Each spoke could determine few things. Job is only one wheel, right? So your health, your friendship, people, the finance part of it, uh, the fitness, each spoke is so important for us. We should not get bogged down by just one spoke, not to our expectation. So how do we keep our fitness? How do we keep our wealth managed? How do we keep our network alive? Who I should call now? Not for a job or any other instance. You could call someone to ask, how can I help you? That's it. There's no need for a financial transaction. I'll give you a beautiful example which happened this morning. A friend of mine called me from Madurai, of all places. He said, I saw your LinkedIn post, and you know what? I have started editing videos for YouTube. There are many NGOs who do not have editors. I have started doing it. I have built a interest or passion towards that. So he calls me Anna. Anna, if you have Anna in Tamil means brother. Anna, if you have any such requirement, let us do it together, and we can learn in the process. I said, fantastic. So that's the spirit. If you have a skill, if you think you can do something with that, reach out to your friend and offer it. You don't have to have any economic consideration for that. You just have to be in the groove, know what's happening, what is the market like. So earlier, if you were talking to 10 people, make it 12. If you're talking to 20 people, make it 12 again. uh, it's better to have a deeper conversation rather than a superficial conversation. So if both of you are having quality time, spend more quality time on deeper conversation, which will create that connection. Because once the pandemic is over, they are going to remember you for what you offered. And if there is an opportunity to work together, you'll be the first person on their mind. So Lara, there are some more comments coming in on the window. Let me check of Sunil. Hi Sunil. For a peek into all we built during the pandemic, check out Value Revolution. Oh, nice. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Sunil, for that. Let me move to Pratyasha. Yes, planning, execution, executing, and experiencing. Absolutely, very well said. We are underrating our experience of doing. Many a times I used to wonder while driving on the highway, you see a billboard and you think, oh my God, that's the idea that I thought about. Suddenly, someone has executed it. So now we have an opportunity. We are at home. We have all the resources that we need to put it to action within our reach. Let's do it. There's a question from Lala. How can we monetize our hobby? So one thing I've learned, Lala, from my experiences, do not think about money as a first, instance. That's something really helped me. Second, find out who values it. There is a story where a boy goes with a glass or transparent stone to various places. The one who really understood the value of that stone is a gem cutter in the city. So what we have as a hobby may not be valued by people around us. A stone cutter or a painter or someone may not understand the value of what you got. So keep doing what you have, put it out there without anything in expectation. I'm sure based on the quality of responses you get, there will be someone who would start valuing your hobby. For example, if you have a good artistic ability, put it out there. I'm sure one day it'll be a artifact of TFT, and it'll be really valuable. And believe in it. That's the way it's going to work. Thank you, orchestra, for playing. Yes, keep doing it. Yes. Okay, Silesh. So many people lost jobs or lockdown. Help them realize their new talent. Yes. How corporate do you think will accept this role change? Will they be entertained for this change? So that's a very good question, Sailesh. From my experience, I can tell you, corporates or people at the top are not very different from people in the middle or at the bottom. They're also human being. They also go through all the tensions everyone is going through. What is the difference is they have a huge responsibility of keeping the entire ship afloat. For sake of few people, if I rock the boat, it's going to be detrimental for so many families. So they operate out of caution, they operate out of future in mind. So I'll give you an example. In my previous stint, one of the employee came out with a wonderful idea of making entire module into online and taking it to masses. That idea is very much welcome. During pandemic, things completely changed, and that really helped the company to move forward, right? So whatever talent we got, see how it is aligned to the company's direction, or could it change the company's direction for good? How can we rally people and champion people around that idea, so that the idea takes precedent, not me as an individual who's proposing that idea. I think the role change or the idea that a new talented person is bringing in, or a person with the new talent bringing in, all that will be accepted in this paradigm. I hope I have answered your question. Let me move on to Suresh Marimuthu. Yes. Hi, Suresh. Can you explain the description of eight wheels, or we can choose according to our circumstances? Yes, very good question. Earlier, I spoke about the wheel of life. There are two approaches. One is you can take a template from internet. You just type wheel of life. You have plenty of templates available. Or you can choose to write on top of each spoke a dimension or an aspect that you want to balance in life. For example, when I ran a workshop many years ago on coaching, one leader wrote family in one spoke and his son in the second spoke. I was really surprised and curious. Is your son away from your family, or can you give me more context? He said, my son is with special needs. So I want to devote more time with him. So that makes a lot of sense, right? So you choose your own labels, and you can derive amazing insights. Many a times what happens, we are thinking that we are spending more time on one aspect, comparatively that is impacting something else which is important for us, right? We have limited time in our life. How do we apportion it? How do we distribute it across all these spokes is what the idea is all about. If one wheel I'm spending more time, the wheel will not look round, it will look crooked. And on a journey of life, the wheel is not moving smoothly. That's the idea of this exercise. Have fun with it, keep changing the spokes. Do it with your partner, do it with your spouse or children. There's always a fun element to it. If it is a leadership wheel of life, you can talk about various aspects of your leadership that you want to work on. If you're an entrepreneur, I know, Suresh, you're an entrepreneur, you run a chain of pharmacies across the country. If you want to maximize the returns on your investment of time, you can choose the descriptions of each of the spoke the way you want. That's going to help you with more insights. Thank you for that question. Yes, Shakti, thanks. I'm also happy to see you live on this show. Oh, okay. So, can you explain in giving relevant examples like what questions should we ask based on 6A framework? Okay. Um, okay, sure. I would have a one-on-one with you later to talk about it. Um, so the question is about how do we move from awareness to action and make sure we are accountable for the outcomes that we want from this journey. We'll talk about it. Yes. A simple example. Yeah, mother of expectation is all Miss. Yeah, Deepak. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we have Mr. Chinadurai. Oh, okay. So I lost 11 kgs in 10 days because of COVID, but gained the same within 20 days. COVID situation makes you do wonders. Likewise, COVID situation makes us. I think the rest of the text is missing. Oh, okay, that's good. So I think fitness is something we all can uh, keep working on. Good. So far, we have had opportunity to talk about various aspects. I've given you some tips. I hope it was useful. For someone who is stuck with boredom, I have found many people asking this question. Hey, you know what? I do binge watching on Netflix, Amazon Prime, and various other OTTs, only to realize that I have wasted time. I could have done something productive in that moment. Why am I so hooked on to such time wasters? So the simple question is find a purpose. Do you have a purpose? That's the question. And what does purpose mean? It need not be to change the world or anything. Can I put smile on my family member's face? Can I do something which would bring happiness at home? You can start there, and I'm sure you can keep on exploring what else we could do to put a smile on somebody's face, and that would give you purpose. Money is a good motivator. You could also check on avenues to earn money. That will again give you the purpose, and so on. So there's a feedback to our music team. Naga Chituri, he's saying music team is doing a great job. Okay, keep doing, girls. Yes. Let me also talk about last mile with Abhi. Yes. Given the current scenario, one hobby or skill of a person is not enough. Do we need to keep looking for new hobbies or skill, or should we look into mastering one, especially in a corporate job? That's a very good question. Uh, what if the hobby or a skill which I'm working on, say, for example, everyone is talking about cyber security. Should I do a certification? Should I get into that, or should I get into Java stack developer, any of the technologies, or should I move towards mindfulness or wellness market? How do I give wings to my dreams and be relevant? So one question is, how do I stay future fit? It's not about future proofing myself. How do I stay future fit? What is future fit? Relevant experience, relevant fitness, relevant skill sets that is required for me to stay in the game. I'm not talking about winning the game, staying in the game. That's what we could do at this point in time. Do not, let's not have ambitious targets and get bogged down, lose our motivation along the way, and stop doing what we are doing. The idea is to, go with a motto of one day at a time. So this again aligns with atomic habits. where James Clear talks about small improvements each day can create huge benefits, right? So even if you are learning new skill, what improvements you can make in that skill, so that's going to be critical. Ashish, hi Ashish, thanks for joining. How do we know when and where to stop to begin? Wow. As usual, Ashish is someone who I really respect and have huge admiration for. He built a huge community of fellow HR professionals. So it's a very good question. How do we know when and where to stop to begin? When I'm overdoing stuff, right? When my efforts are not in the right direction. So there is one metaphor that comes to my mind, Ashish. Am I too busy climbing the ladder, not knowing the ladder is on the wrong wall? So we need to take continuous feedback of where we are heading, the pace at which we are heading. Talking to people in that profession or community is going to be very useful to know, am I in the right direction? So one other quote comes to my mind is, you are average of 5 people you hang out with. So this is again a testimony. If I know that I'm not with the company of best people in the area where I want to work on, for example, if I want to learn guitar, I need to surround myself with people who are passionate about that instrument. Their love and passion for that instrument is going to catch on to me, right? If I hang around with people who play keyboard and don't care much about guitar, then I will start to fade away and my interest also fades away. So surrounding ourselves with the right people, checking with them, am I in the right direction with the right pace, taking feedback and working on the feedback, I think that will tell us where to stop and where to begin. Thanks for that. Hi Abhinash. Last mile with Abhi is Abhinash. Okay. Thank you, Abhinash, for joining. Nikita is saying music is soothing and mesmerizing girls. Thank you, Nikita. Okay, so Deepak has shared a good resource. Uh, Actually, I'm really pretty good at goal setting, podcast and goals and purpose if interested. So this is a suggestion from our fellow uh, participant, Deepak. Thank you, Suresh. Yes, yes, yeah. Thank you, Abhinash. Yes, thank you. So good. Thank you guys for joining. I hope it was useful. To summarize, three things: A, find something engaging, make it as an assignment, and keep working at it. Hi, Raman. Second thing is, make sure it's important that we move one step at a time. Don't worry about the last step of the ladder. Let us focus on the first step and do it with utmost attention and care, so we have a firm footing on the first rung of the ladder. Third, very important, take feedback, see whether we are in the right direction. Yeah, Suresh, you have a question. Only operate in need mode. Okay. Explore new opportunities. People are desperate. How to handle people? Yes. So one quote which comes to my mind, Suresh, is, treat others the way you want to be treated. This is a golden rule I've heard from my guru. It has really helped me. When I think I'm smart person in the room, people would put me down with their smartness. If I think I'm going to support them and do whatever I can to help them be better in what they do, then I would be the wiser person in that room. So whether it is a team member reporting to you or people who are engaging with you as a customer, it's the thumb rule that can never go wrong. Treat others the way you would like to be treated. I hope that was the answer that you were looking for. Okay, Nitish, during COVID, lots of us are losing job or revenue in business. Yes, Nitish, it's an unfortunate situation. As I mentioned earlier, one can sit at home and think that I have lost everything, Or like these teachers, the examples I mentioned earlier, keep moving forward one step at a time, one day at a time. Don't worry about any work out of your comfort zone. Oh, this is beneath my job. Nothing of that sort. Take whatever comes your way and put your 100%. Perhaps that could be a new business for us. So there are so many examples in the corporate world where people have switched line of business and become really good in what they're doing. Yeah, Nupur is saying survival of the fittest. Yes. Naga is again one more important thing. We love to do many things for our own family. We need to question to ourselves, what are we doing to outside family, to our society? Absolutely right. So once we have that outward mindset, it will bring rewards manifold. Okay. Thank you, Muthu. Thanks, Naga. Yes. Sanjay, we are importing skill program in Bihar. Whole system is closed. What can we do in current pandemic? Yes, Sanjay, this is a very key question. The government officials, all the involved agencies, everyone is struggling with this. One thing is cut down the losses. Make sure whatever resource you cannot cut down, put them to better use. I know some people have switched entirely to online classes. They have reskilled their trainers who are good in classroom to be digitally savvy and conduct online class. Mobilizers who are out in the community who are very good in door-to-door mobilization, now doing everything online to change the entire system. I know one of the partner organization earlier, they have switched their entire model to online. So this is a period where we need to just survive. Then we can use what this experience to thrive in the coming years. There is no magic wand, or money cannot do justice. It's a bottomless pit. We need to take one day at a time and make sure we move on. There are a lot of uncertainties. Questions are more than answers. That's what my experience has been, Sanjay. I hope better days are ahead of us and we should come out of it. Yes, Nupur, upskilling and reskilling. Yes. Yes, Ashish. To remind me of one quote, we must never become too busy sawing to make time to sharpen the saw. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Very well said. Yeah. So Nitish is saying best time to get new skill to push the restart button. Yes, absolutely. Nitish, I know you are in a business where virtually you move things and get your customers what they want, the equipments in the best of the condition. The entire logistics is virtual. I have been to your office. It's a very small, compact place, uh, and now things outdoor, adventure and even taking time off to go to Leh Ladakh and other places is going to be difficult in the lockdown. So, how do you reinvent yourself? Perhaps a video session on how to best prepare for adventure. If you're on base camp, what you should do, how to use equipments once things become normal. So put out videos for your customers, existing ones, talk to people, find out how you could be useful to them, ask them what they are doing, how they are coping with pandemic. Some spark would ignite your creativity. You'll be back in the business in no time. So doing nothing is not an option, Nitish. That's what I'm stressing again and again. Let's move one step at a time, one day at a time. Yeah, Deepak is saying people join great companies, leave bad managers. Not true in these days in all the cases. Managers are also aware of this. You and I have been managers. We know how to treat our employees. And employees are also from various generations, right? Millennials are joining now. 2K kids are in corporate world now. They are 21. They are joining. So 70s kids or 80s kids could be the managers or department heads. They are going to learn how to work with multi-generational workforce. So I'm sure this axiom would go through a big shift as we go forward, because research after research is saying people join companies which do good to society, which are conscientious, and so on. So I'm sure we would have a new version of this, in coming days. Now Nikita is asking how to handle difficult team members. Okay. So this is a very classic question. No one wants to be difficult. That's a lesson I have learned in my life. They are difficult because somewhere we are not meeting their expectation, like the way we feel that they are not meeting our expectation. So when we have the expectation alignment, when there is a heart to heart conversation saying, hey, this is the direct feedback I'm giving you. If it continues, it's going to be difficult to work with you in this space. Then I'm sure there will be a different response you would get from them. You have to show them that you care about their future, you care about their behavior, and you also want to be open and ask, how am I being a problem to you as a manager? It will open up a new world of discussion. I'm sure you should be willing to have that discussion after asking that question and genuinely work on it. Asking a question is not going to yield any result. Once they say that you are my problem because of these reasons, make a note of it and genuinely work on it. I'm sure it will give results. In my experience, I am telling you, I have worked with many difficult people only to realize that the problem is with me. I need to change the way I'm, doing things or talking things. If I want different result, I have to try a different method. Same method, doing again and again, and expecting a different result is nothing but insanity. I'm not saying very famous people have said. One of them is attributed to Einstein. Desperate people are cheating. They have their own justification. Yes, absolutely. It happens in business. People are scared out of fear. Things do happen. When we are getting affected, our emotions also get triggered. How do we handle our emotion? How do we make sure we help them see that this is not a behavior, it's going to help them in the long run? For that, we need a different level of conversation. In case I can be of some help to you, Suresh, please let me know. We can catch up later. This is the time for business and leaders to show how much they actually care for their people with tangible steps. Absolutely right, Deepak. Lip service is not going to help. We are being watched as leaders. There is a complete crisis of leadership across the industry. When you work on it and you show some glimmer of hope, people see you very differently. Absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Sanjay. Vikram, hi. In my self evolution journey, I find inability to prioritize and hence time management as the biggest barriers to moving forward. What is your advice on learning or practicing prioritization? Okay. So, I like there's a famous story where Mr. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, I can't tell the kid how to stop eating sugar because he wanted to practice himself before giving that advice. I'm in that situation right now. As I said, we are in a flux. How do we handle one day at a time? What helps me is writing down what are the things that I'm going to work on. There is a good method by Cal Newport. I'm just showing you the book which I own right now, autographed by the author. I met him in US in one of my trips. I had a opportunity to introduce him to a large gathering as a speaker. So he talks about time block method, and there is a time planner available on Amazon. You could try that. So what he's saying is remove all the distractions. When you decide to do something, 20 minutes, if you decide I want to do something, remove all the digital distraction. See whether you can hold on for the 20 minutes doing what you want to do. At the end of 20 minutes, if you have not got sidetracked or moved on from that task, That means you have successfully managed time block method. Increase the 20 into 30, 40, 60, and so on. I'm sure that will help us in the long run to sit in a particular place, or focus on one particular task at a time rather than task switching. Multitasking is a myth. We don't multitask, we only switch tasks. So that could be of some help, Vikram. You could try that out and let me know. We'll keep meeting. Santosh is saying, yeah, if entire business will go online due to COVID, then you don't think it will make a very large population will never return to the original job? Yeah, so this is another discussion happening online. I did notice this. However, the same thing was told when cars were coming in large number from Ford factory. All the horses, were there in New York streets, and people were talking about, building big stables for horses. And someone wondered, what will do with the horse shit if so many horses are there in the city? Where would you recycle all the excreta, right? So nothing had happened. Car came in and it wiped out the entire set of jobs, but new jobs got created, right? So I'm sure this is a disruption of a large scale, a black swan event. This disruption will lead to something better, something new, which we are not aware right now. The ones which are going to get adapted to the new normal are the ones who are going to be the thrivers. Rest all will have to be in the sideline and watch as the world progresses. That's why I keep repeating, let's not get ahead of ourselves too much. One day at a time, focus on one thing at a time, so that we are climbing the ladder, not worrying about the end of the ladder. Let's focus on the step that we are taking. Thank you. And Deepak, my comment was respect to answer to a previous question, that new generation is definitely different, but the old axiom will always stay current. Oh, okay. Managers represent organization for the most part, even if organization is socially conscious but have a bad manager. Yes, absolutely. They'll continue to move on. And if that bad manager is supported by another bad manager, then it's going to be a non-starter, and it's not a loss of the individual, it's a loss of the organization. Sooner someone checks that culture and brings in coaching culture, things are going to be better in that organization. Thanks, Deepak, for bringing it up. Leader as a coach is very much important skill. We all need to hope to get there. Yes. So we are on the top of the hour. There's so many questions coming in. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do share these questions till we meet again in the next live. I will stay in touch, and I'm sure you stay connected and share these questions. I see many questions on the chat window. I'll take it up, and some of them I know them personally. I will talk to them. Thank you guys for joining, and thank you orchestra for the awesome job. So you would like to do the final outro as well? Yes, there you go. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.